You think you know us, the typical UNAL student. Think again.
We are more than your headlines, more than your assumptions. This is the voice of those who refuse to fit in.
So, if you're ready to hear the real story, welcome to Not What You Think.
UNAL stereotypes.
People say that if you study El Nacho, you automatically become a mamerto, that everyone here lives in a protest mode, carrying a political speech like a backpack.
And that if you go to this university, you think like everyone else. But is that really true? Or is it just a stereotype that says more about how others see us than about who we really are?
Welcome to the third and final episode of our podcast. Today's topic, one of the most repeated and misunderstood, the idea that everyone here is mamerto.
The word mamerto has become a sort of shortcut label. Sometimes it is used as a joke, sometimes as an insult, and often by people who don't really know what it means.
In today's language, being mamerto is often associated with leftist ideas or communist ideologies. It's a label loaded with the stereotypes and stigma. It's a term shaped by the strong social and political rejection that leftist ideologies have historically faced in Colombia.
Today we want to reflect on that. To go deeper, we want to hear from our guests. Welcome Maria Jose, Sharon and Natalia. Let's start with you, Maria Jose. Have you ever been called mamerta just for studying at UNAL? How did that make you feel?
Personally, I've never been called it, and honestly, I don't identify with that label. But I don't find it problematic that there is this tendency to lump all students together as if there is no room for difference or individuality. Sometimes judgments are more about prejudice than actual reality.
Natalia, do you feel that people associate our university with political extremism? Does that bother you?
People often assume that just because we attend a public university, we all support communities' ideals. It is frustrating because everyone has their own critical thinking and can choose their political views independently.
One common idea is that everyone at the National University thinks the same, that there's no real debate, just dogma.
But the truth is, what defines this university is diversity of ideas, of worldviews, of priorities. Here, contradiction and tension coexist, and they help us grow.
Natalia, do you think there's room to think differently here without being judged? Have you ever experienced that personally?
I heard classmates say they are afraid of being judged or rejected for having political views that don't match what people expect from public university students. There is a strong sense that you are supposed to think a certain way, and if you don't, you get judged.
Maria Jose, have you ever had deep conversations with people who totally disagree with you? What did that experience leave you with?
Definitely, sometimes you get surprises. People I thought were completely opposite to me ended up having things in common. And other times, even if we don't agree, mutual respect made the conversation worthwhile. Those talks helped me realize that not everything is black or white. There are many ways to see the world.
Sharon, do you feel like your way of thinking has changed since entering the university? How so?
Yes, the way that I think related to political and social issues has changed, but not in the way that people out of the university believe. Before I started my studies in UNAL, I didn't used to be worried and interested in political decisions. Nowadays, I believe that it is very important to participate and be involved in any decision that the government takes, because whatever choice that they select is going to affect all Colombian lives. And my talks don't involve a specific political party. I realize that we should be critical with any government at the moment. In fact, I often find myself agreeing with ideas from totally different political groups.
Now let's flip the question. What if someone does identify with the label? Is it wrong to question things, to join protests, to think politically?
At this university, there are students who are deeply committed to social, political, and environmental causes. That's not a trait, it's a part of what gives this place its character.
The issue isn't having a strong opinion, the issue is assuming that opinion defines you entirely, or that it excludes other ways of being.
Sharon, Do you think it's possible to be critical and politically aware without falling into the stereotype of Mamerto?
Absolutely yes. As I explained, critical thinking doesn't mean to follow one political group. I think it is a cultural problem that Colombian people have, that when someone wonders about a government plan, it is predisposed to be labeled like Mamerto. We aren't used to being involved in government issues without judging, and we should change that. When someone doubts something, it is because they care about the potential consequences, not because they are attacking a specific political party.
Maybe the real problem isn't being called Mamerto, but being reduced to just one word? A word that often used not to understand, used to shut down.
If there's one thing we learn at this university is that thinking critically isn't always comfortable, but it is necessary. And taking a stand doesn't mean you stop listening, doubting, or evolving.
Not all of us are Mamertos, but we are students who think, who question, and who won't settle for easy answer. That's what makes this place unique.
Huge thanks to Sharon, Maria Jose, and Natalia for sharing their thoughts with us. And to everyone listening, thanks for being part of this.
We'll see you in the plaza, the library, the classroom, or maybe in the next debate. This was the final episode of our podcast. Until next time, comment on us. What do you think?
Not what you think. UNAL stereotypes.